This episode of The Horror Show is brought to you by Mike D. Thank you so much, Mike D. Mike D donated over at patreon.com/IHateHorror. You can head over there. It's a monthly subscription type thing. We're doing bonus episodes. This upcoming bonus episode, we are going to eat those disgusting jelly beans. So be sure to sign up, check those out. And thanks, Mike, and enjoy the show. Everybody, and welcome to The Horror Show. Show it dissects, mutilates, dismembers, and butchers all of your favorite and not so favorite horror movies and other horror-related events. Shit. My chair. I'm Sean.
I'm Joe.
How's it going?
Pretty tired, man.
I'm pretty fucking beat up, too.
Well, you don't sleep.
I don't sleep. Yeah. We did our live tweet last night as of this recording, which will be a few days before. Thinner. That was a blast. Got some funny jokes. I was laughing my balls off for a lot of them.
It's very funny. You guys are good.
Yeah, they are really good, man. They blow me out of the water with jokes sometimes. Like, I'm like, fuck. Like, I was one of the least funny people on there. Whatever. Thanks for sticking up for me.
Well, I was thinking. No.
Also, Boston Underground Film Festival. Thank you guys so much for having us out there. I don't know if we're actually going to make it. We're recording this before, but it's going to come out after. So thanks, Boston Underground Film Festival. We probably had an awesome time.
It was a blast.
We probably had a great time. And the void was probably really cool. But now on to a movie very, very close to my heart.
I'm glad you said that because it reminded me that this, we probably said that on the show before, but this is a VHS cover. Classic.
Very classic. I never watched it on VHS, but I remember this cover so well. Like, it is burned into my memory. And I think I didn't like it because it was so... I didn't quite understand what the message was of it. Because, like, her hair's in a noose, and she's kind of holding a knife
behind her back. Yeah,
and it looks like a dinner party, and it looked like one of those shitty movies. Little did I know, it's the opposite. It's fucking amazing.
So when's the first time that you saw this movie?
At the Connecticut Cult Classics.
You can edit this out.
Yeah.
I don't want to put you on blast. You're saying it's very dear to your heart, but you saw it for the first time.
It's not putting me on blast.
Okay.
No, I fell in love with it at Connecticut.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
I just figured when you said threw me for a loop because you're like, it's dear to my heart.
Oh, no.
By the way, I watched it for the first time yesterday.
I mean, perhaps it was a bit of an exaggeration, but I love this movie. I think this movie's fucking awesome.
Okay.
And rewatching it this time, I was like, oh, I have to watch it again. And I was kind of bummed out. Not that I didn't like it the first time, but I was just like, I'm like a one and done. Like, I don't rewatch movies. And I rewatched again, and I was like, this movie's fucking awesome. Like, I genuinely love this fucking movie.
So I saw this when I was younger.
Yeah.
And I did not like this movie. I did not like it at all because of how it played out.
Right.
And I was like, well, that was stupid.
It would have wasted my time.
Yeah, exactly. And honestly, So I saw it, I rented it, and then I ended up buying it at the sidewalk sale just because it was on sale. And I watched it again in college, and I still kind of felt the same way. And then, much like you, it kind of clicked watching it recently.
Well, you know what? At that Connecticut Cult Classics, which they rent out a theater and they play these old movies, and me and Joe sponsor it and go. They played this, and I could see the problem I think I would have watching it solo is there were moments that people were laughing that I wouldn't have laughed at my house.
Yes.
I would have just been like, that's kind of stupid.
Yes.
But when I hear everyone laughing, I'm like, oh, maybe that's intentional. Like, we'll get to the end, but there's a part at the end that honestly I was laughing so hard at again today. And I remember watching it in the theater and people were dying. Like, people were laughing, like it was like roaring laughter at it. And I was like, oh my God, like,
it was fun.
Yeah, it was real fun.
A group of people.
It was really fun. So April Fool's Day, which is this Saturday, so we decided to honor it. This is brought to you by Patreon Stephanie B, or she goes by several names. Stephanie, oh wait, they're both start with the letter B. So Stephanie B, thank you so much. We really appreciate you choosing April Fool's Day, just in time for April Fool's Day. So we start out with this like handy cam style, which was probably pretty unique for an 80s flick. I mean, people didn't even have cameras. So, but these kids are all wealthy, yuppies,
yes.
At least yuppies. Yeah.
Yes.
But definitely wealthy. They have money at least. It starts out with this, like just this handy cam of this girl telling her story. And it's a very like, again, yuppie type of thing. And she's like, my parents are my best friends, and I'm going to the convent to become a nun. And I fuck on the first date. And then it brings us into our characters, and they're all laughing and clearly going to have an insane.
A nice little weekend.
And this party looks pretty dope.
It does. And you know what? The array of characters aren't so stereotypical.
They aren't. And they're very relatable. They remind me a lot of people I met in high school and college. Like very vividly. Very like, and that's not always a compliment in this film, but they're very relatable. Like after we see that guy, one of the other guys we see he's kind of like mocking her, and he's getting filmed on the handy cam. And I forget what he's like talking to the guy. It's like a meathead type guy, and he's standing with his friend.
Biff.
Yeah. And he's
Back
like,
to the Future.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, and he's like doing a voice, a feminine voice, and he's just saying, oh, this is my lover, and like it's very juvenile but very relatable.
Well, it's how college kids would act.
Yeah, and it's not. It's very realistic. Like it's not. I don't know. The acting's good.
That's the thing too. Like we have our big doofus character, as many of these movies do, but he's not so over the top. Like
no. They saved
else.
that. They did have a character that was over the top. We'll meet Chaz, the typical artist weirdo, and he's the guy actually filming. But we learn we're going to this girl Muffy's house, who lives on an island.
Muffy St. John.
Dude, Muffy, what a name!
Great name.
That is so weird. I know somebody says it in the movie, but what does Muffy stand for?
Somebody says it in the movie?
Yeah, somebody's like, what does Muffy stand for? And somebody literally doesn't answer them. She just goes like Muffy St. John. I was like, what? That doesn't answer it. But
let's see what the Google says.
But like, it's like a stereotypical name that they make fun of for like rich people, isn't it? Like in cartoons and shit, like, oh, I'm Muffy. Here's my wife, Muffy. Right? But we learn we're going to Muffy's house. She's living on an island. This handy cam stuff is like really kind of charming and makes you relate to these characters a bit. At the house,
Mary or Margaret?
You know what? I think that's exactly what she says. I think I might have been lying. I think I might have been lying when somebody's like, "What does Muffy stand for?" I think she says Mary or Margaret.
She's actually
now that you say that, I think she's
all right.
Back at the house, Muffy's cleaning up for this party. We learn that her parents are going away. She finds a Jack in the Box, and we get these weird flashbacks, which also turns out into the longest credit sequence of all time. of just her playing with the Jack in the Box as a kid, or she's like opening it at a birthday party,
And it's pretty ominous.
very ominous, very, very ominous. And then it cuts to her present day in this basement cleaning up, and she's just staring at it. As the credits end, it pops out, and it's like a fucking disgusting monster pops out of it, and you hear all the adults at the party laughing at Buffy's expense. It appears, and that kind of wraps that up. And then we cut back to our gang at the ferry, and there are about a dozen people in this fucking crew. Harvey, he's like a hillbilly yuppie. You got Rob, who's the stud, main character. Chaz, the like more artistic guy. He's got the camera, little off the wall. They catch him in that crazy sex position later, where his like legs are like over his head.
He's totally that guy that films plastic bags in American Beauty.
100%.
I hate that
That's
guy.
him. I hate that guy too. In real life and outside of it. We got Skip, Muffy's cousin. We have Arch.
I thought Skip was her brother. Oh, fuck. Never you mind.
Skip, her cousin. Archie, who is Biff, the meathead. You got Nikki, who is...
Arch is a pretty good meathead name.
Archie's perfect meathead name.
Which is Arch.
Oh, Arch, yeah, which is what they
call
Arch.
Because Archie's...
Arch is like, they call him Lurch. It works. It works both ways. Arch. You got Nikki, who is dating, or I don't know, doing something with Chaz. Definitely having sex. Nan, the worst name ever, another rich name. And I think she met this girl, she met Buffy through school. She's also set up, she's a red herring, a hardcore red herring. Don't know.
This movie is a red herring.
It is, but it's really, well, we'll get to it. But Nan is weird. And especially because no one knows her. Yeah. Like, she's just...
Why? Yeah, like... Don't they even say, like, why is this girl?
Yeah, they're like, who is this? She's like, I went to class with her. And everyone's like,
which, to be fair, that's weird as hell.
Yeah. Especially because she only had one class with her. And then we have Kit, who is the girlfriend to Rob, the jock. A lot of characters, man. And I think I'm missing some, to be honest with you. I'm pretty sure there's an extra girl in there. I don't know. I really don't know. But we're bouncing around meeting these kids. We're realizing Chaz is an artistic creep. Harvey, who goes by Hal, also is a rich creep, a financially stable creep, though. They all have these like quirks, but in the end, they're all just like, I just can't wait to have sex.
I mean...
And the girls are outnumbered, unfortunately.
Are they attractive?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
100%. They are beautiful 80s babes. I love them all.
Even with the 80s hair intact.
Oh, it's amazing.
It's great.
The guys, not so much. Rob,
Biff.
Biff is my dude.
Biff looks great.
Dude, I think, and he doesn't get any. He doesn't get any in this film. He's the lone dude. He's on his own, despite what he says in a minute. But he is the lone dude, and I personally, I think he's the most attractive in the movie. So take that for what you for nothing. So these kids are waiting for this ferry to take them over to the island. We've already wasted like a quarter of the show talking about bullshit. They're waiting for this ferry, and they get on this ferry, which looks like a fucking barge. I mean, it is
huge.
It's like you just stand. It's just a platform.
They just need a canoe.
That's all it was. I mean, it was insane. Like, it was literally just a giant platform that somehow went across the water. And I don't know how. But they get on this. The kids are just acting like, basically like lunatics. If I were this guy driving it, I would have been like, everyone get the fuck off. This is just going to end badly for somebody. But it doesn't. Two kids are fighting. I don't even know. Arch and
of course it's Arch.
Arch and some other jerk. Arch stabs him with a knife and he falls into the water. And everyone freaks. And sure enough, comes out of the water. April Fools, like waving the knife, and I'm like, oh, it's gonna be this movie, isn't it? It isn't, but it kind of is.
No, it totally is.
It's just this like first like 5 minutes. Well, not first. It's the first 40 minutes. It's just like nonstop, like April Fools. Especially Buffy, man. When we meet Buffy, she's just full of pranks, full of life, light in her eyes. So everyone's pissed off at the prank. So they're not gonna. Or what happened? Oh, and then okay, so
there's
this
a fake
is crazy.
prank,
Yeah.
but then the kid's in the water.
Mm-hmm.
Is it the kid that played the prank?
Yes,
It
was
is
the kid
him.
that played the prank.
So he's getting like pushed against, I don't know, what is that, a dock or whatever?
It's like a giant docking
bullshit
wall. It probably doesn't really exist.
And the boat is right there, and for some reason he can't move out of the way. And the guy that's steering the boat is looking at him, about to get crushed, and not.
And it's like,
not
hey,
changing.
hey.
Look out!
And it looks like it crushes him, and then he comes out of the water, and
Just his eyes missing.
just his eyeballs hanging out of his head. It's the weirdest thing. And everyone freaks.
Totally squished his head.
That's all it did. And not even just half of it. And just enough to pop out his eyeball and not do any like structural damage. Because he gets up and he's like, oh my eye! Like he's totally fine.
Solid gore.
It's really good gore. He gets up. They're like, oh my God. A cop comes on a boat nearby. He comes over. For some reason, he gives these two idiots a boat and is like, see ya. Go get help. And then the cop's like, I need a boat to get home. And Buffy meets him at the dock and is like, oh, you could take our family's boat.
Muffy.
God damn it. Muffy says, you could take our family's boat.
Wait, it wasn't the kid that was doing. It was like the deckhand.
Oh, well, I knew he was, I don't know. I thought they were like the same people.
Whatever.
Dude, there are kids running around. This is like worse than having like a classroom full of children.
I was actually nervous about talking about this one because so much shit happens so quickly.
And you know what? I did the bad thing. I tried to learn all their names.
You can't do it.
And I fucked up.
Fuck
Now
up
I'm all fucked up. Yeah, I'm totally fucked up. But they get to Buffy's house. It's a fucking mansion. She claims she's getting it in some inheritance, even though her parents are alive. Isn't that weird, actually?
It's very weird.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Do they say what island it is or like what state?
No, they never mention that. But she goes to Vassler, wherever that is.
Helps me.
Yeah.
Actually, 0%.
And she's rich, so she probably travels there, so it doesn't matter. They go inside, though, and they're expecting, some fancy stuff. They open the dining room, and there's plastic silverware out and weird Barbies over everyone's plate. It's very weird. Yep. Very strange stuff. So you're already getting some hints there. We cut to Arch outside who's filming, and my name is Arch. My name is Arch Cummings, and I'm on a mission to bed as many women as possible. Well, Arch, there's like 3 of them.
You failed, by the way.
And you failed miserably. We also see Nan. I always want to call her Nan, and I kept writing it as the bread. I kept doing Naan.
I actually worked with someone named Nan.
Nan?
Yep.
Fuck, that's a crazy name.
Nancy.
Or that. Or it's a totally normal. God damn it. Nan and this, what's this kid's name? Like Stu or Spot or Stippy? Skip. Nan and Skip are outside. Skip is getting drunk and he's being super dramatic. I don't even know what he says here because I was just honestly disgusted by him at this point. But he's getting very dramatic and very drunk. So there's definitely some setup there. Everyone back inside, everyone is just pranking the shit out of each other.
So many whoopee cushions.
Dude, whoopee cushions.
Are whoopee cushions funny?
Yeah.
Yes. Agreed.
I think so. Done tastefully.
Are dribble glasses funny?
Yeah.
Agreed.
Dribble glasses are more funny because they honestly piss people off. If you gave your dad a dribble glass,
my teeth would be knocked out. You'd find it so unfunny. You know that phrase "don't cry over spilt milk."
Yeah.
My dad totally cries over spilt milk.
So do I. I'm such an asshole when it comes to that. It's so funny. So they're doing all these fucking pranks to each other, and they're talking about what they're going to do after graduation. They're going to be graduating college very soon. Yeah. And Kit, Rob's girlfriend, is like, "Hey, everybody! Rob's going to med school. And everyone's like, ah. And then Rob's like, oh, I'm not. He's very upset. And he was trying to tell her, he was like, hey, cut the shit. And she was like, no. Everyone deserves to know. And the reason he's not is because his guidance counselor was like, first of all, you're in college. Like, you don't need a counselor. Second.
Wait, they're in college?
Yeah.
I just got real confused.
Oh, yeah. They're in college. He's going to med school.
That's what,
He's trying to get into med school, but his counselor in college told him he was too immature to advance, which, fun fact, you don't need his permission. You just fucking apply. But whatever. It's not my thing to say. But it's because of his immaturity. He's like, you got good grades, but you're just immature as fuck.
So he's just not going to go.
It's so weird.
So you know what?
So he is immature.
Is 100% correct.
Yeah. That's all it took to derail his fake dream. Well, he probably went to school for like communications or like shoe repair. And he was like, I'm going to go to med school. And his counselor's like, come on, man. Get a fucking grip. Robert.
Those college counselors are the most useless human beings.
They're fucking terrible.
I had one make me take micro and macroeconomics. And then when I failed both of them, they're like, oh, you didn't need to take those. I'm like,
They're the fucking pits. Trying to get into college, I didn't go right after high school. And I didn't finish anyway. But so maybe they were right too. Maybe they're like, why waste time on this kid? But they were such fucking assholes. They are so unhelpful.
Yeah,
and like they'll answer you like with a question, and you'll be like, well, this is why I'm here. Like,
and you have to wait forever to talk to them.
Oh, it's like set up an appointment, then you get an appointment, and then you still sit there for 2 hours.
Exactly.
And they're so pissed to see you. Fuck college. Everyone, you know what, kids? Don't go to college.
I could not agree more.
Don't go to college, kids. Fuck it. Fuck them. Meanwhile, all these rich assholes, they're given a toast and dribble cups. But the biggest dribble cups of all time. Like, it wasn't like a little stream. Like, they were just pouring water all over themselves. It was fucking awful. Yeah.
We need to buy. Where do you get dribble cups?
I think you just put a little hole in it.
I will break into Paul's house and replace all of it. Oh, wait, you just drill a hole?
I think you can. You just do it near the lip. You just have to, like, scuff it a little bit and it dribbles. Have you ever had a cup that's, like, chipped at the tip? Chip tip. It's got a chip tip. Chip top.
But these like pour out.
No, these are insane.
Yeah.
And Paul would not. You'd have to be like a fucking giant hole. Paul would be like, whoa, who did this to all my cups?
He would never know.
Well, until he hears this. I'll edit it up. So that's it. Everyone's kind of going back to their rooms to have sex. It's a big focus of this movie. The sex and who's going to have sex with who. Nikki's claiming dibs on Chaz. Telling Buffy she gets everyone she wants. Muffy. Gets weird. I keep saying Buffy. Harv is in his bedroom pacing around, planning on what he's going to say to Muffy. And he's like his pitch to bed her is like, you're rich and I've got brains and we're going to make a great business team together. So let's get married. Like, it's fucking bizarre. He also will not be betting Muffy.
No.
Because Muffy turns into a lunatic in like overnight. In like the next 3 minutes, she turns into like a stark raving lunatic. Even while she's doing these pranks, all of a sudden she has this like unsettling look in her eyes.
Yeah.
The actress that plays her did an amazing job with just like the facial nuances. Like, she freaked me out when I was watching this the first time. Like, I was like, she's up to no good. Like, she's the bad guy. Like, everyone just figured this out already.
Yeah, she's not in many movies.
Yeah. And Arch, everyone kind of goes to their own bedrooms where they're getting pranked nonstop in their bedrooms. They're finding like heroin, needles,
spoons and stuff.
And tourniquets. Handles are falling off.
There's a baby crying.
Dude, a tape recorder with a baby crying in Nan's room. Harvey found newspapers in his room that were like 6 dead in a house fire. Fucking scary shit. Like legitimately scary shit. Rob and Kit have that painting with the moving eyes. The least scary one. That's the least scary of everything that happens. But they all kind of split up to go make love. Except Arch, our dear friend Arch, who it reminds me a lot of our, like some of our more desperate friends, our less socially savvy friends, you know, during college days. Like he's literally checking every door. He tries to get with Muffy, who's like, see ya, and just slams the door in his face. So then he goes up to the first door and starts listening to people having sex, and he's like, and he's like super excited.
That reminds me of someone we went to college with.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's exactly like people you went to college with, and I partied with. I don't want to drop names. There's several of them.
I want to tell a story so bad.
Well, we have okay.
I'm not going to.
Oh, I've got one that we can do because fuck it. We'll just make up a name. But then he goes to the next door. It's locked, but he's trying like hell to get in. Like even after he knows it's locked, just because there might be a woman in there. Then he goes to the next door and it's open, and he does this. It's such a funny scene. He opens it and he like kind of steps back, pops his collar, and like struts in like Ric Flair with his head down. Yep. And then it cuts to inside the room, and it's Chaz and Nikki, and they're like literally like tangled up. Like arms and legs are everywhere.
up. Yep.
And it cuts back to the hallway, and Arch walks backwards, strutting backwards out, and his collar is now down.
His character in this is fantastic.
It's amazing. It's the really, best meathead.
It's very funny and very well written.
It's a meathead that you don't have to be like, what? Well, I mean, he is a disgusting pig, but you're not like, he's not like a rapist.
Right.
He's not like most.
Like every other guy we've seen, like the Night of the Demons.
Dude, I was just about to say,
I still can't think of his name.
We do this every time.
I
was like, I can't bring him up again and forget his name again, so I'm not going to say it. But yeah, exactly. Like that guy was a piece of shit. He's just calling women bitches the entire time. Fuck that guy. But this guy's like really cool. Like, well, besides just being a creep, but you know, creep's going to creep. Now we had a friend. He did not go to college with you, but he would go up there from time to time. And he was a bit of a peeping Tom, and that's who this reminded me of. I don't
think I'm aware of this.
Oh, you're aware. Oh, you're 100% aware. He would spy on having trysts. Whether it was, and like, by the way, I would witness this and be like, what the fuck are you doing? And he'd be like, oh, this is awesome. And I'd be like, no, it's fucking not. That's fucking gross. That's my friend. I don't want to see that. Like, no, that's fucking nasty. But he'd be into it, right? Now, the best story, though, is after a long night of partying, our friend goes and with a girl in his room. And we can unfortunately hear them. And I had headphones in because I was like, I brought my iPod everywhere for this purpose. And I was just like listening to music miserable on a couch, so drunk. And this fucking Peeping Tom, what's just his name from now on? Peeping Tom. Peeping Tom's on the couch next to me. And we can unfortunately hear them. And he's just sitting there. And then after like a few minutes go by, he just goes, this is awesome. This is awesome. And I just turned over and was like, get the fuck out of my face.
Yeah.
I was so disgusted.
That's actually perfect because it relates to this guy. Like that's what this guy would do.
That's exactly what this guy would do. And with a giant smile on his face. So that's all I could think of while I was watching this guy. I was like, it's him. Bill Peeping Tom. So everyone's doing their thing. Meanwhile, what's this kid? Skip is. I don't know why I can't remember his name. Skip is still drunk outside. He's just wandering around drunk for the past like 4 hours. He literally started drinking when they got there, and I guess has been outside since.
It happens all the time.
And walking around drunk around the docks, laughing his ass off, plucking like plants. It's really weird. I don't know. And he has a switchblade knife for some reason, which is pretty dope, actually, now that I say it. He walks into the boathouse for some reason. It's on the dock, and he gets grabbed by just a shadowy figure. We don't see anything. It's just a shadowy figure who grabs him. We cut to the next day, and Rob and Kit kind of mention, has anyone seen Skip? And everyone's like, nah. And everyone is cool. And I was like, no one has seen him for like an entire day at this point.
I don't think I would be that concerned.
I think I would.
Even back then?
Maybe not.
I don't think I would.
Maybe not.
Maybe like 3 days.
It would take 3 days.
I think so.
Oh my God. I hope I never go missing around you.
Well, that was then.
And on the fourth day,
now
it's
I'd be concerned.
Hey, by the way,
Didn't Sean
go
go
for
with
like
us?
4 days. Although that might have happened in our life. That's ridiculous.
I remember when I went to Rhode Island, not at a different time with our other friend Mike, the one who's called into the show.
Oh yeah.
I remember after like a heavy night of drinking, I woke up on a dock just sleeping.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
That is so bad. That is so
I was
scary.
like, I guess I should find my way back home.
That is so scary. I mean, we've all had those nights. I guess I should find my way back home. Was it a dock near the house?
This was like down the road, I think.
That's insane. That's insane.
It wasn't attached to the house for sure.
Mike might have just left you there to die. Mike might have been trying to cut out
His
your
dad
kidneys.
found me walking back. Like my hair was all messed up. Just like, what the fuck?
So Rob and Kit, they come downstairs. They see Buffy, who looks like a straight lunatic. Her hair is...
It's all in the eyes, too.
Oh, yeah. And she's just looking like a crazy person. And she just kind of like runs away. She's like, oh my God, I gotta go. Acting way off kilter. And the only thing Arch can come up with is, who made her night? Come on. Come on. Worry about this poor girl's mental health for like a second. Like, God damn it. But Rob and Kit, they end up going out swimming. They go to have sex in the boathouse, and they see
Body.
old Skip's body floating from under them. I mean, it looks like a corpse. It is like pale blue and definitely dead. And the only thing Rob can muster up is like, you son of a bitch, and runs out. And he's like, Skip, get back. Like, what the fuck? Like,
Also, why would you be that mad? Oh, I guess because he's spying on you trying to have sex?
that would be, honestly, if Peeping Tom went under a boathouse on a
can't
homemade
be mad at
raft.
that.
You can't.
It's such dedication to the cause.
Yeah. If Peeping Tom did that to me, you know what, man? You got this one.
Yeah.
I mean, beat it.
No, you can look.
Beat it, but I good job. I won't be mad. This is a immunity.
I'm with you.
Because that would be insane. But he runs out, son of a bitch. He runs back up to the house and he's like, where's Skip? And everyone's like, what the fuck are you talking about? And somehow that he's just like, oh my God, Skip's dead. Like,
So extreme.
it's two extremes. And all based on everyone being like, what? Like, everyone's like, what are you talking about? It's so weird. It's so weird. And really, at this point, you can tell they're really trying to pin this either on Nan or Muffy. Those are two, you could just tell they're both acting off. Both kind of have like a weird vendetta. There's definitely something between Nan and Muffy. Nan was the one that found the baby recording, and you could tell that really bothered her.
Yes,
when she heard it.
Yeah, because there's something related.
There's something definitely behind it. So these are our two that you're just like something. It's one of these, or maybe it's both of them. And honestly, good for this movie. While I was watching it, I had no idea what was happening. Like, I knew it was one of them, but that's still pretty solid. Yes. I mean, for it to keep you on your toes. So the gang goes to.
The pacing in this movie is great.
Incredible.
It does not drag.
Nope.
It moves from one character to the next, one kill to the next.
Yeah. I mean, they somehow balance these like 10 characters. Like, that's really hard to do.
They do. They give you like a slight backstory. Like, I don't know why it's so hard for other movies to pull this off. Like, you get to know them.
All you have to do is fucking pick a good movie and copy it. Look at this movie and just fucking copy it. Is that hard? Like, maybe it is harder than I say. I don't know. But like, this is good. And the pacing is perfect.
Yeah.
And it comes in at 90
doesn't
minutes.
spend too long on everyone's backstory, but you get to know everyone.
Dude, can you imagine this being made by like some jerk like that from another movie we watched or something? It would be like 20 minutes on why Skip's drinking. Like, we'd have to sit through that, or like sit through like why Rob didn't go to college. And I mean, they do cover that. Like, they cover his ins and outs, but it just adds to his character, and it's very brief, and it's very much like what a conversation would be.
You really just need a sentence to explain things.
Yeah, and that's literally what it is. He's just like, I feel like a failure, and now I'm going to be a TV repair.
So many of the movies that we've watched just need one person saying something like quickly.
That's fucking it, man. That's fucking it. Saying one thing quickly.
That's it.
So the gang goes out to investigate Skip's disappearance now. But inside the house, Nan confronts Muffy about the tape she found. And she says, I thought we were friends. Or she says something weird. She goes, I thought you wanted to be friends. So it kind of puts off this vibe that they didn't really even know each other that well, which is a little suspicious.
Yeah.
A little suspicious. Archie is out in the woods by himself. He's trying to find Skip. He keeps hearing stuff in the woods. They keep showing this fucking snake right next to him. This guy would have to be fucking blind and deaf, frankly, to not hear or see this snake right next to him. That's like,
It's so loud.
And it is up. It's not
it's
like
ready to strike. Yeah.
It's like a cobra. But before it strikes, he gets tied up in one of those like.
Then he sees a talking cow.
Wait. And then he talks to the talking cow. And cow says he's dead.
Bites his penis off.
He gets trapped in this like one of those rope things that grabs your ankle, and he's like hanging upside down. And this snake is just lunging out and biting at his face.
I want to know, like, somebody please do research and like find me like historic sources of people that's happened to. Just walking through the woods, step into a rope, and then the tree snaps up and you're caught upside down.
It can't be possible.
It's had to have happened once, right?
Probably.
Once.
Some guy got really lucky and caught like a kid. There's no way that can support a 200-pound man.
But they have like the whole tree's bent over.
Oh, yeah.
And then the tree snaps up.
I don't think that works, though.
Somebody find this out for us.
I think that you could do it with like rabbits and shit. I think that's where it comes from.
Why? How does the rope tighten when you step in it?
I don't know. I can't.
It's had to have happened once for so many things to like use.
I think the concept is real, but I bet it's a little bit more elaborate. I bet there's like something that you have to trip.
Right.
In order, or like your foot, like maybe a rabbit gets his foot stuck in it, and then when he pulls it, it like
gets tighter and tighter.
Unlocks it, and then it gets tight.
It's still way too complicated. That's so much that you need to go right.
I mean, I'll tell you this.
And it can't be a rabbit. Sean, a rabbit is so small.
A grown man has never gotten caught in one of those.
They have to have.
No.
They have to have.
No. There's probably somebody that's tried it on YouTube. We'll have to look it up.
Continue. I will be doing that right now.
All right. Thank you. So
what do you even Google?
Dude, I don't know. Like a rabbit trap. I think it's a rabbit.
Not a rabbit trap.
I mean,
it's like a giraffe trap.
It's a rope trap. So the snake's about to bite him, but we see these feet show up. And they're definitely male feet, it appears. They got like big boots on, looks like male cut jeans. Kicks the snake away, and clearly Harv has been got by whoever is committing these crimes. And for some reason, as soon as the kids all get back together, they're like, Harv's missing. Like, they immediately jump to that conclusion. Like, or not Harv, Arch. Arch is missing. So then they go try to call the police. They can't get a hold of him. Muffy is just way out of, like, she is out to lunch now. She's acting super weird. Like, everyone comes in and they're like, Arch and Skip are dead and missing. And she's like, oh, do you guys want some tea? And they're like, what? And like, she's just acting like so weird. And she's like, I'm going to my room now. And they tried to get a hold of the cop, and they're like, I think we should stick together. She's like, no, I'm going to my room. This is my house, my room. And then they try to make tea, but the faucet breaks. There's no water. She says, you're going to have to go to my well, guys.
Yes.
They head out to the well. Nikki, I believe it is, and Harvey. They go out to this well.
Nikki falls into the well.
She does. After the rope breaks, they can't get in. So he's like, hey, get your ass in there. Well, she's like, you go in. And he's like, no. And she's like, fine, I'll go.
Would you go down there?
Absolutely not.
I'd rather die of thirst.
Absolutely not. They have wine. They have drinks there. Drink anything but water. Why did you need tea? Why do you need tea? I'd be like, I need something heavier than that. Our friends are missing. But they go into this water. Nikki falls in, and there's Skip's head.
Yep, decapitated heads.
Harvey's head, and Nan's fucking body. So now you're thinking this has got to be Muffy.
Yeah.
They just had that falling out, and it's got to be Muffy. She's acting super weird. Also, you know, at this point, I was thinking, like, I was like writing my notes, and I was like, it's so hard to talk about this movie without a bias after seeing it for the first time. Like, I'm trying to write the notes, not knowing the end.
Not knowing the end, yeah.
And it's really hard to like emphasize parts that I'm like, well, it just gets resolved later,
right?
And I it's really tough. But it's so I was just thinking about that. It's an interesting thing when there's like a real twist in a movie. Like this has a real twist in it. But yeah, so they go to that well. They come back. They finally reach the police, and they're just begging for him to come. The police say, "We'll shoot off a flare when we get there, but for now, stay together. Do not separate. Just stay in the house and stay together." And we're in lockdown mode, which is the best part of any horror movie. When the crew has finally realized there's a murderer on the loose. This is the best part of all horror movies. It's just like, I don't know. It always gets me so amped up. It's just like, all right, guys. There's always
fight or flight time.
Fight or flight. There's always one guy always accuses somebody else of being the murderer, and that does happen. Chaz starts accusing Harvey of being. He's like, "Hey, what about you? Where were you like 10 minutes ago?" And he's like, "Hey, you know where I was." It's like, "Oh, do I?" Fights like that happen. It's a blast. It's a real blast. It's a real joyful moment. And everyone's getting suspicious and weird. They start roaming around the house though. Kit finds a picture on the desk. And there's not one little girl in that photo. There's two.
Jimmy and Bimmy.
Jiminy and Bimini. the bad dudes. And then Muffy walks into the doorway and is like, "Can I help you?" And now Muffy's like completely lost it. Like she's like dead eye, hair's a mess, and like talking like a zombie. Like it's so weird. Especially because she was so sweet when they first met her.
Yeah.
Luckily, Harv is packing heat. They don't have a gun in the house, so Harv takes it upon himself as a Southerner to pull a gun in his waistband and hide it behind his very fashionable vest.
Yes.
And Muffy kind of tells us too at this point, you know, it could take a full day for them to get here from the mainland because the tide is so choppy.
Is that a thing?
No, I don't think so. And you know what? I think she knew that. I think she knew these fucking idiots.
Yeah. I mean, if someone told me that, I'd be like, "Oh fuck!" But
yeah, I'd be like, "I'm never going in water again." Choppy tide. I'm sure it's like can get rocky, but like it's not going to be like, "Oh my god,
can't make it there."
It's a 15-minute trip that turns into 2 days.
Yeah, can't you just swim it?
Yeah,
there's an emergency,
dude. It's crazy.
Can you? Holy shit! Can you imagine there being a legitimate emergency and the cops being like,
"Hey,
you're gonna have
choppy
to
tide.
Just die in like 2 days." We're not going to get there before then.
And I'm not taking a risk. That's just putting two people's lives in line.
Choppy tide day.
So this is when Muffy's like, "I'm going to bed." And all the kids are downstairs and they kind of start sharing the weird shit that they found. Finally. Like everyone kept that a secret. No one was like, "Hey man, I just found fucking heroin in my fucking medicine cabinet. I think somebody has a problem in the house. Like we should probably address this." They all decide to spit it out here. And we find out one of them says that they had overheard Nan and Muffy, and Nan had an abortion. So yeah, the fucking baby sounds not a great
not
look.
cool.
Not a great look. That's fucking terrible. Yeah. The gang now decides to split up and go to their rooms, and Harvey's going to keep watch over everyone because whatever. In Chaz and Nikki's room, Nikki's packing her bags, and Chaz is like, "Come on, what are you going to do? Pack your bags and wait at the dock?" He's right. It's an insane plan. Why? Just wait. Chaz starts putting on the bondage suit that they had found in the room, and Nikki's like, "Oh, you pig," and leaves. And as she leaves, we see a body. We see the figure in Chaz's room. Chaz is just laying there being like, "Oh," like saying stupid shit like, "My dick." I don't even know what he says. But we see this figure walk up to Chaz. So it's curtained for Chaz. And when Nikki returns, Chaz has got two hands over his dick, and she's like, "Oh, what are you doing over here? Oh, yeah, like I'm going to fall for that trick." Dude, for like 5 minutes, she's just like being like, "Oh, yeah, I know what you got in your hands, a dirty little Peter, put it away." Like shit like that, like just over and over and over again. And she finally decides to like touch this guy and hit his hands because he's not moving, and his dick is missing.
Yeah.
Fucking cut off, blood everywhere. She starts screaming.
Traumatizing.
Dude, it's so scary.
Especially when you find out the end.
Yeah. Oh, everything about this is crazy at the end. Then we see the guy come in, and he gets Nikki as well. Upstairs, Rob and Kit are exploring this attic. Rob reveals, which I don't know why, like there's the one thing about this movie is there's so many like, why wouldn't you have brought that up earlier? Yeah. Like they're upstairs and Rob's like, well, the twins, and Rob's like, "Hey, by the way, the sheriff told me not to trust Muffy on the phone and told us all to stay together except for Muffy." And I was like, why? Why did everyone split up?
Crucial information.
Yeah. And he's just telling Kid up there, and she's like, "Oh, okay." She's like, "Well, thank goodness you told me now." And everyone's fucking dead. Everyone's separated. Like, there's literally everyone separated. It was fucking so weird. Then they turn and they see dolls in the attic, and it's the dolls that were at the dinner table. Yep. Cool thing is they do tie pretty much everything together. Anything that you were like, "That's weird,"
they do, which is even more impressive.
Yeah.
The more you think about it, like it could just be a mess.
Right.
It's not.
So these dolls that were at the dinner table, which I was like, "What the fuck are there dolls at the dinner table?" Turns out you look at them here, they're upstairs. They're like, "What the fuck?" And they go look at them. There's 4 standing up. That's the 4 people that are alive, or the 5 people that are alive or 4 people alive at the time. And then there's one in a well, a girl in a well with 2 male heads, and it's in like a bowl of water. Yeah. And then there's a Barbie bed with 2 that are just covered in blood.
Yes.
That will be Nikki and Chaz. And so it's pretty cool. It's kind of corny, like corny horror movie serial killer, like, "Oh, I gotta arrange the dolls like I kill them." But it freaks them the fuck out. And frankly, it would scare the shit out of me. So I'm not going to lie. But they see the flare go off, and they're finally like, "Let's get the fuck out of here." They run downstairs. They're running through dark rooms. They find Chaz and Nikki. More blood than I've ever seen in like any scene in horror. There's blood fucking everywhere from these 2. It's a bloody mess. They run out of there. They run into the next door. They're trying to get in. It won't move. And it's because fucking Harvey's corpse is hanging behind it.
Yes.
Hung up and hogtied there. He's hung.
Wait, did they already discover Muffy in the basement? Or is that after?
That's after this.
All right.
So they're like, "Holy shit." They sneak back. So they run out of the house to try to go. They find the police boat, which is now empty, where the flare came from. They're like, "What the fuck?" They go in. There's a letter there that's like, "We are on the lookout for like a mental patient that escaped the insane asylum. It's Mrs. St. John, and she's very dangerous, and she's been on the loose, and everyone, you got to keep an eye out for this person." So they're really confused, but Kit is kind of putting it together. But once they climb back into the basement of the house to get back in. I don't know why they're to get the keys to the boat.
The boat.
So they're trying to get back. They get back in, and then they see like a growth chart, and it says Muffy and Buffy, and they're like, "Oh my god, she has a twin, and this is the twin trying to kill us." Yep. Then they turn and they see the moving eye portrait, and there's eyes in it. And they're like, "Oh my god!" Fucking boyfriend Rob is like, "Hey, move that painting, and I'll take a swing." Like he's got like a golf club or something. He's like, "You get close enough that it could kill you. I will swing. Like, don't worry about it." She moves it, and it's dead Muffy, and her fucking head falls off.
Yep.
So Muffy is dead, and Buffy nails the door to the basement shut. They run upstairs, and she's just like banging on the windows. It's pretty fucking scary.
This scene is intense. Actually, up until like the end reveal, it's intense.
It's very intense. It's very intense. Buffy manages to get into the house. She also manages to split Rob and Kit up through these. There's a ton of rooms like any rich house, and all these rooms lock and have weird locks that go on the floor too. So he separates them. She separates them. So Rob is like helpless, and he's just banging on the door, and he's like, "Ah!" He's just screaming.
This guy is giving his all because he's literally losing his mind.
And he continues to scream for the rest of the entire end of this movie, and it gets awesome. But
it's like the most appropriate reaction that someone 100% because he's just frantic.
He's just screaming like he's not like, "I'm gonna save you. Keep your hands off her." He's just like, "Ah!" Like, I'm going to do something once I get through this door.
Yeah.
And Muffy has Kit dead to rights. She's lined up. She's got this giant fucking butcher knife. They're just trapped in this little room. She's got her cornered. Finally, Kit, through her back, is able to turn around, unlock this door, opens it up, walks through.
Everybody, all of her friends are all sitting there in like their nice like polo outfits, having a grand old time.
And they're dead silent. They're just sitting there like doing things, like having private conversations or like doing puzzles.
Biff looks so sophisticated in this scene.
It's amazing.
It's like a Rhodes Scholar.
It's amazing. It's so fucking amazing. And Kit turns around and Kit has this like look, like, first of all, she looks great. She's super frazzled. Like she's so sweaty and just like, but not like over the top like any other hormone. It's not like dirt all over her face, but just enough where you're like, this woman has had a fucking night. Like
and she has.
Terrible night. Yeah, and she really has.
That's why I love this scene.
She's had a terrible night. And she kind of turns around and Muffy's just standing there. She presses her knife and it's a fake knife. It like ink goes inside. Like a retractable knife, I guess.
By the way, I would fight her.
Oh, I'd beat the shit out of her. I would find a real knife and probably slit her throat, honestly.
Most traumatic weekend of my life.
And Kit just goes, "Oh, ha ha, ha 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 ha, really funny, guys." And then everyone just bursts out laughing. Everyone is laughing. This sounds like a fucking nightmare. But the best part hasn't showed up yet. We cut back to Rob, who's still there, still screaming at the top of his lungs. And this is the scene where in the theater people were laughing. It's just so genuinely funny. He's just banging on the door. He's like, "Oh, help, help." And then the guy from the dock that we thought lost his eye shows up, who obviously has not lost his eye. And he's like, "I love you too, baby," and like kisses him. And he just like looks at him and he's like, "Ah!" But it is a genuine scream. And like, I don't know if I would I think I would do that too. I think I'd be screaming. I think I'd be like, "What is happening?"
Of course you would. You thought that guy died or at least mutilated.
And he's still screaming and still banging. And he finally gets through. And he walks in and sees everyone also alive and is just like, "What the fuck?"
Never talk to any of you again.
Dude, I would never talk to any of these people. It's so bad. Also, the guy pulled off his fake dead eye prosthetic and slapped it on his face. And he was like, "Ah!" And he's still running around with it, which was a nice touch. Buffy tells him the whole thing. It was this big elaborate plan.
She, well, wait.
I guess like
because she had a friend that did the special effects and wanted to be like a Hollywood makeup artist.
Right. And so I guess she was getting the house in an inheritance, but it's really expensive to maintain.
Yes. And so she's having like one of those murder mystery weekends.
Right. She's going to, this was basically the test run. She's going to turn the mansion into an inn that'll do like whodunit mysteries like every weekend. for the guests that stay at the end. So this was like her trial run to see if this story worked well.
I mean, just tell them.
And well, that's the funny part is because she's like, well, the guests will know. So they won't be scarred for life like you guys. That's just for you guys. I just wanted to see if it would really work for real. This is probably all illegal, by the way. Everything that happened this night is probably illegal, but
Yeah.
it's basically like kidnapping. But it's that's it. She explains it all and whodunit weekend. And Skip ended up being her brother, which we revealed earlier in it. And it's honestly, it's a fucking, I don't even know how to explain it other than it's like a cute ending. Like, it's honestly kind of cute. Like she's like, the way she's presenting it is just so like.
Well, so well thought out.
We're really well thought out. And she's just like a sweet girl. And she's just like, oh, and here's the ferry drive. Here's the mild ferry driver.
A country bumpkin.
He's a country bumpkin. And he goes like, I ain't never did no acting before, so I was real excited. And she's like, we decided to give him a chance. Why not let him be an actor as well? Like, it's just this like ridiculously cute, like almost Disney ending to what could have been a terrifying horror movie.
Yeah.
And as a kid, I would have probably been like, what the fuck?
That was my reaction. Like, come the fuck on. Because then after that, they're all drunk and she goes up to her bedroom. And there's a Jack in the Box.
Yep.
And she's doing it slow, and it's about to come out. And then Nan comes from behind and slits her throat. But it turns out that's fake,
dude. And one more fucking April Fool's joke for the road. Pretty cool. I don't know. I liked it.
So, as a kid, I was what a waste of my time.
I'd have been furious.
I just wanted to see a slasher movie, and there was no like payoff. As an adult, I think it's pretty well done. I think it's kind of underrated.
Very underrated. And I think it's
in terms of like movie making.
I mean, they did everything perfectly. I can't really find a hole in what they did. The only like really crazy part of like what she planned was the well, like sending somebody into a well and
hoping that those people would climb down.
And that like rig it for her to fall into a well full of heads. Like that seems a little crazy, but whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not splitting hairs here. Also, another funny, weird thing. They start partying after the reveal. Like she busts out the wine and everyone's having a good time. And they bust out the dead Muffy prosthetic head. And like everyone just starts like basically raping Muffy's dead fake face. It's so fucking odd. Like guys are putting it up to their crotch and they're like shoving wine bottles in it. And it was just pretty disturbing. But
it's exactly what college kids would do.
College kids and rich people probably do that on the reg, and maybe with a real homeless person's head. So that is April Fool's Day, man.
Yeah.
That's a good fucking movie. I really enjoy that.
$5 million budget, and it made $12 million in the box office.
Good for them.
Yeah.
Good for them. And there's a remake, as Joe told me.
There's a remake.
And it looks like a fucking disaster.
It was not good.
It looks like what the cover for the 86 one should be for.
I think the remake was straight to DVD.
Of course it was. It looks terrible. It was made in 2008. No one's in it. It looks like a pile of shit. And they're all wearing crowns. Like all the women that I saw in the stills and stuff, they're all wearing crowns. Like, again, it looks more like that cover. Because in the cover of this, the VHS cover of the 86 version, it's like appears to be like a fancy ball that they're at, which is never the case in this. They go to this nice house, but everyone's dressed like fucking college kids. Yeah. But I guess in the new one, they're wearing like tiaras and shit. So I don't know, but whatever. Who am I to say? Who am I to say? If you hear banging, I have a pen in my hand and I've been banging around this entire episode. So that shouldn't annoy anyone. Well, guys, thank you all so much for listening. We really appreciate it. You guys made that Twitter live tweet a success. That was awesome.
Yep.
Really appreciate that. We did a Google Hangout. I don't know if we ever talked about that. That might have been prior to it too. I don't know. That was fun though. So we really appreciate it. And we've got an awesome bonus episode coming for you guys where we're going to eat. I bought bags of Bean Boozled just in time for Easter. Just in time for Easter. And we're going to try and eat some Bean Boozled candy.
Sounds great.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's going to be a bonus episode. Another bonus episode we're going to be recording soon is me reading my movie reviews from 2003. I found an old website of mine. It's my blog and movie reviews from 2003. They are so bad. They're so poorly written. If you think my reviewing is bad now, wait till you see this. It's unbelievable. First of all, I clicked through a few, a lot of ones, one out of 5.
A lot of 1 stars?
Yeah.
We got a 1 star.
I don't want to tell you right now, but I can tell you that Catch Me If You Can, the Leonardo DiCaprio flick, and Toxic Avenger 3 received the same rating of 3 stars.
I agree with it.
So that's that. What do we do? What do we normally do here?
Plugs.
Plugs. Thank Carly Poe for allowing us to use the song Gorehound off the album Pagan Holiday. You can find us on facebook.com/IHateHorror, IHateHorror.com. Rate, I've fucked this up. Rate, review, subscribe on iTunes. That's honestly the best way to help us. If you want to help us do that, that does so much for us in terms of ranking and all that bullshit. So if you do that, we really appreciate it. And if you do, send me an email, Sean@IHateHorror.com, and I'll send you some stickers for free. Always a good deal. If you can support monetarily, we really appreciate it. But you can do that over at patreon.com/IHateHorror or store.IHateHorror.com. We've got some merchandise there, but I think we've got some new stuff coming out, so you might want to hang out for a minute. What else do we do? Twitter @IHateHorrorShow, Instagram @IHateHorror, and Snapchat. I'm on Snapchat, and I like using it, so hit me up @IHateHorror.
I'm at Jovi421, Boognish 1985, and Horror Show Joe.
That's it, right?
Yeah.
We don't have anything else to plug. What the fuck? Just listen to the show, man. We appreciate it. That's it. Happy
April
whatever.
Fool's
April
Day.
Fool's Day.
Happy Arbor Day.
Happy Arbor Day.
It's not the same day.
All right, guys. Thank you all so much for listening. We really, really appreciate it. You guys have been awesome. Our fan base is like multiplied. It's insane. So we can't thank you enough. We really do appreciate it. And for Joe, this is Sean. Stay weird.
Thank you.
Adios. I was debating whether I was going to say April Fool's.